Hello and welcome to today's little game, and well, it's actually an impromptu one because Gyle is playing. So I got a little ping in chat there, and Penemu from the E-Clan said, hey, Gyle is actually playing, so why don't you head on in and stream that. So here we are, and we're just going to randomly stream Gyle's game because Gyle gets to make fun of a lot of us, and he never plays. So because he never plays, he doesn't really get made fun of a lot. So let's go and have a look. Alright, so we've got a Gap game, so I must apologise. Gyle finally plays a game, and it is Gap. So, well, what are you going to do? Nothing we can really do, but carry on. Okay, so we have got Penemu. So this is my lovely friend from E that pinged me and said, hey, Gyle is in a game. He has gone, I didn't even notice, he's gone Aeon, so of course he's up in an air position. We have got Solar Storm, he's electing for UEF on one of the fronts. We have also got Sembomb, by the look of it. Sembomb, something like that. He has gone Aeon in the front. And we have got Spetsnaz in, well, Spetsnaz green. He has gone Cybran. Alright, so that makes up our left-hand team. We can see the first couple of guys getting out the front and getting towards all of that tasty mass in the middle. On the right-hand side, who are they playing against? Well, we've got Achieved Jaguar, or a Jaguar as some of us might say. So Achieved Jaguar, he's gone UEF, he's down there in a air support position. We've got Freshy, well okay, Freshy's playing, he's also gone UEF, he's already started out towards the centre. We have got Robot Danny, no, it's just Robo Danny. So we've got Robo Danny, he has opted for Seraphim, and we've got Mr. Gyle choosing a nice shade of pink, and he is up there playing UEF in a support position. Alright, well, we've only got 5 minutes, or we're 5 minutes into the game. This is a live replay, so unfortunately we probably can't speed it up too much, so you'll have to bear with me a little bit, I think, while we watch these guys trundle ever so slowly to the centre and start to pull up some mass. Now, interestingly, Robo Danny has opted for a first air, well, anti-air I should say, not first air, and that is probably to counter any drones that might be shooting that way. Of course, drones are legal again now, so for the last little while you have not been able to use drones. It has been illegal because they couldn't get targeted properly by interceptors, and AA did have a little bit of a hard time shooting them down as well. So the drones are actually back in play with that latest patch, and we might have been witnessing a potential anti-drone measure there for Robo Danny, but unfortunately it did not pay off. It got pinged by the ACU and didn't get anywhere. So of course they start to grab that mass in the centre, and well, I really wish Gyle would pick a slightly faster map, but who's that for me to say? So we're just going to have to watch and see how these guys get on with their initial slow blasting each other with their guns. Are we seeing any third ACUs coming into the mix? Well, Mr. Gyle actually, well, he's a little bit close. He's just grabbing the reclaim by the looks of it, and well, and he's actually heading into the centre to assist his friends and maybe hold the middle and be a bit of a win. We've got a nice little hug there, so Freshy is giving Sembomb a nice little cuddle, and he's actually managing to whittle off a little bit of HP down into the yellow, and he's electing to grab reclaim over restoring his HP, or keeping his HP up. So we can't blame him too much for that. He is still fairly safe, unless it was a super early, maybe missile, maybe super early T2 Aeon. Have we got Aeon on the side? We've got Aeon here for... no, none at all. So Sembomb is actually the only Aeon player, what am I talking about, as well as Penemu. So all the Aeon is on the left hand side, so there's not going to be any mercies in the immediate future to worry about. Right, for some reason Gyle thinks this is a good place for power gens. Yeah, I'm not sure if you agree with that or not, but We'll see. It does mean, though, that he's a little bit behind on air. So we can see that Penamu's actually got, we saw a couple of bombers overhead already, but he's got a decent number of interceptors. And they are pretty well unchallenged on this north side of the map. There is a bomber there, and a scout's just rolled off the line. So not a lot of a defensive capability for air for Mr. Gyle as of yet. I'm sorry, Gyle, if we pick on you a little bit more than we should, it's all in good fun because we never get to see you actually play. It's always watching you take the mickey out of the poor fools that you get replays of. So we're going to just take this opportunity. It is a very rare opportunity, even if it is a Gap game, but we'll just do it anyway. And unfortunately those power gens that you put up are, well, not going to survive too well against a couple of bombers, unless of course Chief Jaguar's interceptors can save them, but no, that's not going to happen, and they have disappeared. So a little bit too far forward and hasn't worked out too well. In terms of eco, Gyle is a little bit struggling. He's sitting probably at the lowest in terms of power income, just a little bit, just sitting around the same as Solar Storm. And who is doing the best? We've actually got 38 for Sembomb, so he is ecoing up quite nicely so far. Freshy sitting on 35, and Solar Storm sitting on 39 for mass income, which is actually quite impressive. So these guys doing fairly well with their eco builds. Of course, because this is Gap, we're going to see a lot of sticking back to your base and ecoing like an eco whore, and well, not a lot else potentially for a little while. We're 6 minutes into the game. Let's look for some T2 upgrades. Not looking at mix upgrades, of course, because this is Gap. They are going to be getting mix upgrades. So Chief Jaguar, he's thrown down a T2 PGen, so that'll be on his ACU because he's still sitting on T1 land and air factories. We've got still just engineers coming out for Freshy, so not a shift to T2 yet. They'll be focusing all of that resource on getting mix upgrades because once again, Gap, eco. We do have a nice little push here, so that is going against the Chief Jaguar, and that's a combination of Spetsnaz and Sembomb. They're both firing some T1 units through. We've got, well, mostly just labs actually, so they're not going to last too well against only Mech Marines coming out. So they will do really fairly well because they've got the numbers. There's a clump of 5 of them. That is going to be able to take out the Mech Marines as they come in one at a time. And a nice little assistance here, and those are Mantis, so those are a little bit more survivable. And if he just heads down into the engineer clump here, he will be able to take out a good amount of what is reclaiming for Chief Jaguar. So a little bit of pressure being put on a Chief Jaguar at the moment, and oh, that is an excellent play, and his T2 PGen's actually gone down. So the mobile artillery which got in there, they managed to do their job fantastically well. Of course, the higher damage that those guys output are great for taking out buildings, and the low health on a T2 power gen meant that they actually took that out. There was only a small cluster of artillery, but the ACU must have been little bit preoccupied, and he actually let that PGen die. That is going to be a little bit of a setback on the Chief Jaguar's power situation. He's sitting on 380 right now, and that is a little bit of a problem because he is supposed to be competing on air. And we've got, I see some swift ones, so Penamu has got up to T2 air, he's got swift ones across the other side of the map, and that's going to make life very difficult for a Chief Jaguar. So he's getting picked on a little bit. He's got air and land all up in his base, and well, actually those flares are still sitting there blinking away. There is a striker coming in that will easily be able to dispatch 2 flares, but they did get that mass extractor, so an excellent job of just harassing and just setting back a Chief Jaguar quite a bit. He's lost all of the front mass, and those units have actually headed on up the map, so they're going to go straight up through all of this unguarded section. So you wouldn't go near the front because the ACUs and any fire bases will be up the front, but right through the center there, they're away from the production facilities, and that gives them a little bit of an opportunity to get in, kill engineers, kill mixers, and just do quite a bit of damage. And we can see actually there is a T2 land HQ up there for Robo-Danny, and well, fortunately Gyle has got a number of strikers online, and they were able to take those out, but it would possibly, I mean, there would be an excellent score if they were able to get in there and take out that T2 factory. It does have a lot of HP on it, and given the support from Senor Gyle, that's probably a little bit of a tall order, but we won't hold that against him. Another excellent raid of artillery coming through here, so that is going to smash its way through mexes quite easily. Unfortunately, they are going to come up against these strikers, and so the non-tracking rounds and they're arcing extremely high. If we look at this, we can see just how high the artillery rounds fire. Well, we can try and see anyway. Rather than being direct fire, yeah, you can see a little bit there, and that's going to really mean that those artilleries are not going to last too long. They can do a little bit of damage. I'm not sure if they'll get quite enough rounds away to take that out, or they might be. They're all dead, but there is enough in the air to take it out. So an excellent set of raids, and there's actually another transport. Now, we really shouldn't be seeing this transport succeed. It is a T2 transport, so it's got quite a lot on board, but there's just not a lot of air for Gyle. There's a couple of interceptors, a T1 AA, so that's a railgun, and just not able to output enough damage to take out that T2 transport, and that has unleashed a series of artillery shells against Gyle. So unfortunately for Gyle, he is a little bit of a target, because we do tend to see that the high profile players get targeted a bit. Everyone wants to be able to claim their scalp, and that might be what we're seeing here, and Gyle is just getting harassed. So we're seeing an excellent game from the left hand team in terms of taking out all of the air support that is supposed to be coming from the right hand team. In fact, that T2 land T2 air HQ has gone down, so an excellent play. These artilleries are going to die now, but he was able to take out that HQ, and so that's going to set Gyle back a lot. So between Gyle and Chief Jaguar both being hammered, they are really struggling a little bit, and Chief Jaguar has got that T2 air upgrade now, but because he has UEF, he actually can't produce anything worthwhile at the T2 air stage, so he is going to have to wait till he gets enough power to get T3 online and get those ASF up before he's going to be able to challenge the swift winds coming from the left hand side. And Gyle, well, poor Gyle, he has lost that HQ, so he is struggling just to rebuild his eco right now. He's still sitting on 25 mass income, 1.3k power, so he is really struggling just a little bit. And well, Penemu is just doing a fantastic job of sending raiding units all over the map just to be a giant pain. He's got another squad of artillery coming in. Where are they landing? Right there. Perhaps not the most useful. There's not a lot of targets of opportunity in the vicinity, and there are a few tanks which are going to be able to whistle away the HP on those artillery before they can do a heck of a lot. He will take out quite a few engineers, but not enough to really make a huge dent. Now, those tanks are sitting still, which is a big mistake, because the artillery fire will hit them if they don't move. They are on the move now, so they are going to be a little bit better off. The Chief Jaguar has managed to get a decent clump of interceptors up, and well, I'm just trying to see how many swift winds are actually online for the left hand side. So it looks like perhaps Penemu got a little bit ahead of himself and in thinking that they had air control pretty wrapped up, and actually allowed the Chief Jaguar to get a sizable force of interceptors online, and Freshy's actually given him a little bit of an assist as well. So interestingly, the air, I think, has swung slightly in the favour of the right hand team at the moment. There's a decent little air fight, but a good turn, well, lack of turn for Chief Jaguar has managed to claim quite a few interceptors off Spetsnaz and given him a little bit more power in the air, while Freshy's interceptors are reasonably unchallenged. There's a few from Sembomb floating around, but they're not really consolidated at the moment, and we can see the swift ones starting to get out again. There is a transport. Okay, so Freshy has decided that that is enough from Penemu, and he has just hopped in here with an ACU, T2, and here just spamming up PD. So now he's actually going to be a little bit of a problem. He's repaying the favour, and it looks like Penemu's actually decided to get out of there. So we could see a pretty good takeover actually of Penemu's base from Freshy. So that was a little bit sneaky. Normally we'd see the ACUs hovering around the centre. This is a little bit higher ranked game though, so not quite so newbie, and we didn't get a massive firebase war in the centre, and well, we can see actually that Freshy is doing a really good job of mopping up Penemu's base, and that is going to mean that that T2 air factory for Aeon is going to go down, and that will be the end of the swift winds. So okay, well, I missed that, and that is going to be a little bit of a problem. So while the left-hand team had a really good advantage at the start, they have now got a double comm drop. We can just see the number of T1 PD that is going up in their base, and unfortunately there's T3 mechs in there, so there's been a lot invested in that base, and unfortunately it is all going to go the way of the other team. So that is the ping goes down. I'm not sure whether they only just saw him, but that is going to be pretty hard to move that ACU now. He's up to 18k, so it looks like he's probably got T3 on board, and he's throwing down some triads. I just don't know that the left-hand team is going to be able to respond. We do have T3 land on the field, but it's only in the form of Titans from Solar Storm. If he was to get a stack of Percivals up, he might be able to dislodge Freshie, but I just don't know that they're going to be able to push back from this. It's looking a little bit dicey for the left-hand team because they have been pushed out of almost 2 entire ecos, while the right-hand team have recovered mostly from the initial pushes, and we can see a nice little incursion there, just mopping up a few mass extractors, just trying to grab or maybe pay back a little bit because of the supreme amount of damage that these guys have done. So Chief Jaguar hopping over here. I'm not sure whether these guys are on voice chat or what, but they've certainly coordinated that really well, and they've actually managed to pretty much take over. So we've got 6 ecos for the right hand side and only 2 ecos basically remaining for the left hand side. And let's have a look at what it has done to the economies. We have got Robo Danny sitting on 87 and Solar Storm on 76. So Solar Storm managing to do reasonably well. He hasn't been affected yet by the push from the right hand side, but unfortunately we're going to see Penamuse drop down to, well, 3 there, so it looks like it's just dropped off. That'll be a power stall actually, because he does have a couple more mechs online than we would see for 3 mass income. And Spetsnaz sitting on 2, so it'll be the same issue for him. He's got more mass extractors online than he's getting mass for, because of course power stall does stop your mass extractors from working. And of course, because he's got T3 on that ACU, it looks like, well, the Chief Jaguar is going to do a really, really fun thing. Fun for him and not so much fun for the other team, and that is start building Ravagers. And so we've got, and well, actually T3 over here as well. There was a double T3 com and drop. Oh wow, this is looking really bad. I don't think they can recover, and we can actually see there's a couple of units starting to move up through the center as well. So these guys, they've not really got a lot to hold in the center, even if they can block the left hand side or block the double com drop. There's not a lot that they can do in the centre. There's a couple of PD up that Sembom has managed to put into place, but those are Oblivion, so those are going to be reasonably slow at firing. They're not going to do a heck of a lot of damage to fast moving units, and we can see now that we've actually got some hits coming on to the assisted factory, and there is a Titan that's going to be reasonably effective at taking out those 2 T2 units that remain. They are, well, they're not even focused, well, they are focus fired on the factory, so that's going to give the Titan plenty of opportunity to get in there, and we've actually got gunships in the fray as well. So this is looking really, really bad for the left-hand team. I don't think there's much they can do to come back from this. They've got Ravagers on both sides squeezing them, and there's a little bit of an assault coming through. They've got absolutely no air support as well, because their 2 air players have gone down, and there's now gunships harassing the factories that are desperately trying to make a stand in the centre. Now this is a decent clump of T3. It is all Titans, so that's not going to be the best, but there's just so many of them, they might actually be able to take Freshie out. He's trying to run for that shield. Is he going to get there? Oh, he's whittling down the number of Titans quite well. He's down into the red, but he's still got 4.7k on that. Oh, there's a strap bomber as well. Unfortunately, a strap bomber is not going to be the most useful tool when you don't have air control. It is only interceptors for the left hand side so far, but if interceptors are within range, they can keep up with a strap bomber. Well, these ones have not managed to do so, but the strap bomber does go down to AA there as well. So the strap bomber, not really the best choice. It was ineffective. It only took some HP off the shields, didn't do anything else, and unfortunately that is a bit of a failed play there. And the T3 Air Factory HQ is under fire from those Ravagers. It's got just a couple of hit points left on it, and it's going to go down in the next volley, and there it goes. So no more, well actually yes, boom. So no more T3 air for the left-hand side. We've got a big clump of gunships. There is a decent amount of flak in there, so there's some emplacements and some mobile flak, and they've actually managed to rip through pretty much the entire group of gunships before they managed to do anything at all. So a little bit of a waste from Freshie, but still not bad none the same. Oh, well, there is another group. So these guys are really struggling to fend off the air, and actually there goes that ACU. So there was actually, well, technically the first ejection, and that is quite unfortunate for the left-hand team because it wasn't one of the ACUs that had nothing left. It was the ACU that had the most. So that leaves pretty much just Sembom. He is sitting on 31 mass. Pretty much his whole base has been wiped out. And this is a stomp. So I was actually expecting a really long, really drawn out game, because that's what you typically get on Gap. You'll have a whole lot of, well, I mean, you often get to nukes and artillery for Gap, and we haven't actually seen that. So, well, interesting. 18, we just clicked into 19 minutes and we are pretty much over. So, well, I mean, Gyle, he's managed to produce some gunships. He managed to stay alive. That's more than some players have done. So, that's excellent. I don't think there's actually too much I can make fun of him for this performance. So, well, let's make fun of the guys on the left. No, okay. No, in all seriousness, this was actually quite a nice Gap game. Really quick, which is probably the best thing about a Gap game, when it's quite quick, because we didn't want a 50-minute drawn-out game. And, well, that looks like the end of it. So the guys have opted out, and so, well, it's frozen now. So that's going to be the end of the game. We've pretty much wrapped up. The last ACU that is going to have any effect at all is Sembom, and, well, he's sitting on 30 mass income, which is a fraction of what the other team is producing. He's got no base left. He's got nothing up his sleeves, and so GG to these guys. Alright, let's throw out, which one should we use? This one here, GG, and that's it. So that was pretty much the end of this impromptu stream. The only reason I put it up was because Gyle was actually playing a game, which is quite a rare occurrence, and we caught it on camera, and, well, there you have it. Alright, thanks for watching the impromptu cast. I think there's actually a couple of people who actually tuned in for this. Thanks for watching, and maybe we'll do another one. Maybe Gyle will play again. Let's have a look.